Okay, we got to do our best to record this. Okay. We're gonna angle it so you can see the feet a bit. So we've got about this far back. We'll do it from here. So you've got a slight bend in your knees, letting yourself relax into the stance. So you raise that right leg up, out, and then you land on the toe, middle of the foot, then the heel. Let your hands drop. And your hands are going to be bent and slowly rising up at the same time as you begin to squat down. At the bottom of those hands, turn, push down as you rise up. And you draw a C shape with the hands. Then you turn, and your stance is going to be a bow and arrow. So then you bring this right leg up. And in unison, your arms and your head are going to turn. You're going to turn to the back. Sorry. And so as you turn to the back, you're going to roll those hands. You're going to turn them inward and then outward. You're going to rotate. You're not going to rotate. You're going to rock yourself to let yourself move through that motion. And you're going to take the left leg here, inward, stepping out. You're going to brush the knee. You come here, brush that knee. Right hand comes forward as a palm, and your right leg comes up. So then you're going to look like you're swimming. So right hand overhead, left hand overhead, and your right hand on top, left hand on bottom. Makes a ball shape. So at the same time, your hand and your foot are going to come close to the bottom of each other. So your right hand will be close to your left hand, but not quite touching at the same time as your leg. So it's down, not quite touching. Then you bring them up at the same time, and then you let yourself fall down into that. Then you draw 3 circles, come to the center, let yourself settle, kind of a little bounce. So then right hand overhead, left hand overhead. Then you make a ball shape with your right hand on top, left hand on bottom. Then you're going to just bring this leg up, outward. And then you're going to do what is known in Tai Chi as silk reeling. The reason we call it silk reeling, I have time, I'm explaining. Sorry. So we have, silk reeling is where you have the visualization of rolling out a piece of silk between your hands. You could also imagine that you're rolling out a rope, if that's easier. So you kind of bounce off of that back leg a little with each movement. So it's right, left, right. And on that third one, your hand's going to curve into a crane hand shape. Your left leg is going to circle up, come back to where it was. And then what you're going to do from there is you're going to let your hands drop and you're going to turn around in your bow and arrow stance. And so my dad and I actually like to do something different. So the set is supposed to be that you drop the hands and turn. But my dad and I, we like to drop the stance and turn like that. But I'll do the traditional way. So we do it here, bring that back, drop the hands, turn, then left hand brush the knee, right palm forward, bring that right leg up, and then you're going to do the swimming motion. So right arm around, left arm around, come to the middle, and close to the bottom, not touching, rise up, and let yourself sink into the stomp down, hand and foot at the same time, and do your circles, breathe, come to the center, and you finish with a clear. And so clearing and gathering is very important within martial arts. And so we're going to angle this up a bit. Okay, so clearing, you're going to have your feet together, and we usually do about maybe 3 to 6 of these. So we would do 1. So there's no breathing at all. So there's no breathing yet. Once the hands reach the chest, we begin inhaling. No breath. Once we reach the chest again, we exhale. So we do about 3 of those. Start inhaling. Start exhaling. And then there would be gathering, which is similar. And the feet are still together when we gather. We're going to angle it up so the feet might get clipped off. Yeah, we can't see the feet, but they're together. And so we draw a vase-like shape, stretching upwards. Then you can either do a wiggling motion or just wiggle the fingers. And 3 of those as well. And the theory behind why we do this is because of ionic energy. They refer to it as chi energy, but from a scientific perspective, it is a much easier thing to understand chemically, because the oxidation of our body is a very real thing that's being adjusted. And so the theory is that we are trying to move positive ions out of our body and gather negative ions, because negative ions are the good ones, positive ions are the bad ones. And so we've demonstrated that one. And so we'll talk about some of the important small parts of it. So you always want to keep your thighs externally rotated. You don't want them internal at all, because if you have them internal, then you can't. Well, you can, but it's a lot more awkward to shift your weight than if you have them turned outward. So that's the reason you keep those turned outward. And so next we're going to do one of the newer sets that we learned. We're going to try to come through here. Yeah, we're going to